reason why people tell you to listen to your gut instinct. Your body knows when you're in danger. In some cases, individuals' instincts have gotten them out of really bad situations. From people escaping deadly car crashes to a girl avoiding a run-in with a killer. Let's talk about these stories and more only in today's video. Top 10 strange feelings that got people out of danger. Starting off this countdown, we have the robbery. This story was posted by user Magana. When she was younger, she was at a pet store with her sister. That's when a man walked in and she claims she felt like the air in the store changed. She got a sick feeling deep in her core. She didn't know what was up, but she grabbed her sister and they fled across the street to the grocery store where their mom was. They all stayed together and finished their shopping. When they left the store, they noticed that the pet store they were just in was flooded with police officers. Turns out that as soon as they left the store, that very man that she had a bad feeling about tried to rob the place and shot the cashier. That feeling she got saved her and her sister's lives. In our ninth spot, we have the cute guy. And if you guys are liking this video so far, make sure to give it a big thumbs up because it really helps us out. So this story was shared by user Vodka Sunshine. She claims that there was a really cute guy in one of her college classes. About 2 weeks in, they got paired together for a group project, and she was excited to get to know him. But after being near him, she got this bad vibe from him, but she didn't know why. Anyways, a month or two later, the same guy had been arrested after killing the girl he had been dating, who was another student at the school. It's a pretty good thing she listened to her gut. She may have been the victim instead of the other girl. Moving on, at number 8, we have the daycare. So this woman was trying to decide on what daycare was best for her child. She visited one place which was affordable, but you paid for the full week even if your kid missed a day. The other place was more expensive, but you only paid for the days that you attended. Even though it was way more expensive, she decided to go with the second daycare. She claims that she got this bad vibe from the other, and it was a good thing that she avoided it. Within 2 weeks, the daycare caught on fire under weird circumstances. Now thankfully no one got hurt, but still, that's a frightening thing for anyone to experience, especially a little one. In our 7th spot, we have the drugs. This next guy, let's call him Steven, was between jobs one summer, so he picked up a job as being a spot welder. He was responsible for welding giant custom steel truck bumpers together. But weeks into the job, he felt kind of sketchy about it all. I mean, one of the guys was always smoking weed on the job, and another guy was always yelling on the phone to his wife. He was just getting bad vibes from it all, so he decided to stop showing up. And the very day he didn't show up, the place was raided by police. Apparently, they were making counterfeit bumpers. Not only that, but police found a bunch of drugs on site. Everyone who was in that day got arrested. If Steven went in that day, he too would have landed up behind bars. And good luck trying to convince the police that you didn't know the shady stuff that was happening at the place you work for. This dude literally avoided jail time and a fine. Coming in at number 6, we have the babysitting job. This story was shared by Lucas Cedor. According to him, when his mom was young, she was a babysitter for one family. One night she was supposed to go over and babysit their kid, but she got this bad feeling. She didn't know why or what it was, but she called them and canceled on them. The family pleaded with her, saying that it was only for a few hours. But she listened to her gut and didn't go. So they ended up finding a last-minute babysitter to replace her. That night, their house was broken into and the babysitter was attacked. If she had gone that night, she would have been the one who got attacked. Isn't that so freaky? Like, how did her body know something bad was going to happen? We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the tree. When this next guy, I'm gonna call him John, when John was younger, his dad took him and his sister to the toy store to pick out one toy. He had been saving up his allowance and finally got the lightsaber he wanted. On their drive home, it started to storm and it got pretty rainy and windy. They arrived home safely and his dad and sister got out of the car and ran into the house. But John was too excited about his toy. He was busy playing with it in the backseat of the car. That's when all of a sudden he felt this overwhelming urge to get out of the car and go into the house. His body was telling him to get inside now. So he listened and ran inside. As soon as he did this, the big maple tree in the front yard fell over and crashed down on the car. It had crushed the back seat of the car where he had just been sitting. If he didn't go inside when his body told him to, he would have been crushed to death. Moving on at number 4, we have Grandma Saves the Day. Reddit user Fatanto shared the story of how his grandmother saved his aunt's life. So this happened back in the 80s. Grandma was inside vacuuming when she felt this bad feeling that his aunt, her daughter, was in danger. Her daughter was outside in the front playing on the driveway. She ran outside, and just as she did, she saw her friend pulling out of the driveway. Her daughter was right behind the car and he didn't see her. Thankfully, Grandma was there in time and screamed. He stopped the car inches away from her daughter. That is literally mother's intuition. I swear, mothers have sixth sense when it comes to their children. She literally would have been run over if it wasn't for Grandma's quick thinking. Moving on to number 3, we have the car crash. So this story was from Doozer Dude. A couple of years ago, he was getting a drive from a friend. He was in the backseat of the car and everything was going good. They were on the freeway when all of a sudden he felt super nervous. Out of instinct, he quickly ducked and curled into a fetal position. And good thing that he did, because a couple seconds later, they crashed into a signpost and that came through the window and landed right where his head would have been. Like, this story is insane. His body literally told him to duck. It knew what was gonna happen literally seconds before it did happen. Had he not ducked, the sign would have pierced him and he wouldn't be alive today. I'm telling you, this story just shows how complex the human body is. Like, it senses things way before they actually happen. Coming in at number 2, we have the Ferry wreck. Back in the day, a woman named Eleanor, her family, and her parents' friends had plans to go abroad for a wedding. But the day before, her dad woke up from a terrible nightmare. He was absolutely terrified and shaken by it. And as a result, he told his family they weren't going to the wedding. Now, everyone was mad at him because not only did they cancel last minute, but everyone was looking forward to going. But good thing they did cancel, because that night, the ferry that they were supposed to catch sank, and 852 people passed away as a result. This happened on September 28, 1994, and it's referred to as one of the worst maritime disasters of the century. On that night, the ferry hit stormy weather and the ship went down. The passengers on board were trapped inside the ship and drowned. Only 137 people survived. So this dad saved his entire family from that disaster. And in our number 1 spot, we have the party. A couple of years ago, this individual and their friends were heading to an off-campus party, but they needed someone to be the designated driver for them since they were planning on drinking. A guy they knew offered to take them as long as they gave him gas money. They really wanted to go, but all of the friends got the same bad feeling and decided it was best for them to just stay in and watch movies instead. That night, the guy offered to take a different group of people to the party, but he had some drinks at the party without telling them and drove them back home drunk. As a result, they got into a huge car crash. The girl sitting in the passenger seat lost her life. Everyone else was taken to the hospital for bad injuries. That literally could have been them. They escaped death by staying home that night. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any creepy experiences like this. And now let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Real People Who Disappeared Without a Trace. It was a marathon video. Alpha Baby commented, so many of these stories could be hour-long episodes on their own. I know, these disappearance cases, they have so much information that I have to pick and choose and summarize, and it's super hard, and then I'm writing the script and I'm like, but I want to know what happened, and then I'm invested. It's long. I could do certain cases. I would do it. Maybe I should. Alan Moana Gang commented, "Mie! It's a marathon of Lindsay's videos." Yes, Mie. I love that. Honeybee's mom commented, "Okay, so this means stay away from cruise ships." Honestly, oh, actually you wrote cruise hips. Cruise hips. Ooh! Stay away from the hips on the cruise ships. No, but seriously, I heard that it's really easy to get away with murder on cruise ships because, hello, you just push them overboard and you're like, oops, they fell by themselves. Okay, but don't listen to what I say. Don't commit crimes, guys. Don't do it. People are like, oh, I'm writing this down. Good information, Lindsay. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm showing up for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. From people from people escaping, finally got the lightsaber he wanted. Saber. I always said lightsaber, but I know it's lightsaber. But I always said saber. Anyway, her daughter was outside in the front. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know if you've had